Hey, this is Positive Energy, and I'm back with a review of Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar last night was about forgiveness and digging into pain and hurt. Now, really digging into it, meaning addressing it and letting some things out and letting things go. And the reason I called this episode that's my interpretation of it, is because we see Nova and Charlie spending time together, working on things that they've never addressed with each other, such as their childhood, such as current relationships. Charlie and Nova went on a retreat. They're out in the woods somewhere, and it's very rustic, as they call it. During this time, and the reason they do this is because Charlie invited Nova out. She is ready to talk about her feelings to Nova. At least she's ready to discuss some few aspects, to Nova. She thanked Nova for helping her the week prior. As we all know, Charlie had a breakdown. She had reached a melting point. The mill burning was at the peak of everything that she's been dealing with since she's been in St. Joe. From working on this divorce from Davis and the public humiliation she felt with that, through her relationship with Remy that did not work, through the fight that's going on, the ongoing fight with the Landrys, and how that has been such a tussle and stressful, and her most recent relationship with Romero, which I don't even know if they're still going to be together, because, he was upset to find out about the workers that died on the farm and were forced to work through a hurricane. It was, so that's something that he had a hard time dealing with. And we saw him, question her about it. And then he walked out on her. So I don't know if they're still together. I don't even know what's going on with that. So a lot of these things, everything came together into a boiling point, and she literally flipped out, and Nova was able to help her get through that. So she thanked Nova for helping her out during a very dark time, and she gave Nova a birthday present. Nova said, well, my birthday's not until next week. She said, well, I want to give it to you while I have before I change my mind, because she's still, again, angry and hurt. All right, that sounds good. They go on this retreat, and first thing they discuss is Remy. Now, what was unusual or didn't make sense was when Charlie brought up Remy, Nova immediately says, well, because the two of you never had sex, I thought it would be okay because I really liked him. I don't even understand what that had to do with the relationship. I don't understand, first and foremost, how did even Nova know that whether or not they had sex or not, unless Remy said something. And then in addition to that, why would that be a deciding factor in moving forward with a relationship with this man? I didn't get that. And I don't think Charlie got it either. But we move forward from that, finding out that Nova has a habit of moving forward very quickly with things, and then not thinking about the consequences until things come to a head, and then there are consequences, and then she goes on this forgiveness tour, which is what Charlie points out, and she lets Nova know, or asks her, she said, well, how's that been working out for you? Nova also had a conversation with Vi. This is actually before she went on this whole this retreat with Charlie. Nova's in the restaurant. Vi is not ready to deal with Nova. And one thing you can't do is put a timeline on when a person is going to forgive you, if they're going to forgive you at that. And Vi, said, told her how this has affected her marriage. This has affected her health. This is her well-being is strongly affected, negatively or adversely affected by this book. So she asked her why, Nova said, well, I know I should have came to you first and talked to you about it. And so Vi asked a very good question. She said, well, if I had told you no, would you still have written this book? And we didn't get an answer. We know she was determined to do the book anyway. It didn't really matter. So we understood why Nova did it. Nova did it because she wanted to do it. And she knew that if she were to say anything ahead of time, nobody would have been okay with her doing this book. That would not have been met with positivity at all. So Nova knew what she was doing in that regard by not saying anything. She didn't want to ask permission because she knew what the answer was going to be. So we're going to move right along to, again, this whole thing about healing. Darla receives a phone call from her mom. Her mom is telling her that a good friend of hers, supposedly of Darla's, is in town. They should meet up, go to lunch, what have you. And Darla isn't interested. Okay. The girl really isn't Darla's friend. This is just somebody who used to party and get hot with. Darla isn't excited about going, but she goes ahead and tells her. So this is another side of Darla. She doesn't, she's not standing up for herself. She knew she didn't want to be bothered with this woman, but she went ahead anyway, went to lunch, and during lunch, this is when Darla finds out about, according to this girl, what supposedly has happened as far as it pertains to the night that she got pregnant with Blue. And based on the conversation that this her so-called friend had, everybody was drunk. Everybody was doing drugs. It appears, though, that Darla might have been most, exceedingly drunk and out of her mind. That's the way it came across. And Darla and one of the guys started having sex in front of everybody. Then they went upstairs. And then after that whole situation, she ended up having sex in the bathroom with another guy. Now, we can talk about that a bit later, but this is more about that situation, but this is what the girl is letting her know. And she's laughing because the girl is thinking like, okay, this is something that we wanted to do. I mean, you wanted to do this, so what's the big deal? Darla's having a meltdown internally. So she gets up, she rushes off saying she got to get Blue. She goes to a bar and she's, taking shots after shot after shot. We don't know how many she had, but she enough to where she got drunk. And being that she's in recovery, she just took a step back. And we knew that was going to happen. Last week when she met up with the guy that she was dating, because I don't think they're really going to be dating much longer. And, he's like, look, you need to call your sponsor. You're one step away from having a setback, which is true. She was. She had bought a bottle of some alcoholic beverage last week and almost, drank that. But apparently she didn't. But this week she went ahead and started drinking. Let's talk about Micah and Blue. So Micah and Blue went to the amusement park, and Micah is talking to Blue about, Deisha, who is Ralph Angel's new girlfriend, and just talking to Blue and see how he feels about it. And Blue is not completely happy with it. And, Micah, explaining like, it's not such a bad thing. And, our parents are sometimes happy with other friends, and we can, it can still be a benefit to us. It was a really cute conversation. So then after that, Blue said he had to go to the bathroom, and Michael was like, oh, okay, I'll go with you. Blue was like, no, he's trying to be the big boy. I can do this myself. Now, with kids, you got to watch them, especially in stores and in outdoor venues like the amusement park and all those type of things, because they can quickly dart away from, very quickly. They can move, they can claim they're going to go one place and something else gets their attention, they go someplace else. Well, in this situation, Blue had to go to the bathroom. The line was long at the men's room. Micah turns around because he gets a text from Kiki. So he's paying attention to the text. His friend Aunt is coming home from juvenile detention center. And not paying attention to Micah, Blue changes his mind and goes to the girls' bathroom because there was no line there and he really had to go. Well, Micah doesn't see this. When Micah turns around, he doesn't see Blue. He's asking around. He's getting excited. He don't know where he went. Of course, he didn't know to go check the girls' room because why would he? So he's running around trying to find Blue. When Blue comes out, he doesn't see Micah. So Blue went to the police officer and explained, he's lost. And he was like, don't worry, I'm sure your cousin's going to find you and all of that. And then Micah does find him. But the police officer kind of got a little aggressive and he asked him, I need to see your ID. I don't know what the ID was going to do in that situation. What he should have done, just simply ask Blue, is this your cousin? And there you have it. So anyway, so that's it with Micah and Blue. They get back to, to Hollywood's house, and the guys having their little guys' night and everything. And Ralph Angel was supposed to be going on a date with Deisha later on that evening. And then he gets a phone call from Vi saying you need to get to Darla's house alone right away. He gets there, and this is when he finds out all about the situation that happened with Darla the night of, that she got pregnant with Blue. So Ralph Angel remains with Darla the whole night. He blows off Deisha. The next morning, he looks at the phone. Deisha called twice. I can already assume here that relationship is over. Done. Nothing can be. I can see Deisha's not going to be so forgiving in terms of she'll probably be friends with Ralph Angel but not want to date him because she probably is going to assume that Ralph Angel still has feelings for Darla. And I think he does. And we already know Darla still has feelings for him. The guy that Darla was dealing with, she didn't really want. She was dealing with him because she's trying to get past Ralph Angel. But, she really would rather be with Ralph Angel. And I think Deisha has picked up on that anyway. So we're going to see how that works out next week. Another, a good episode dealing with pain, hurt, suffering, and how to move past it. This was about forgiveness and healing. And I think that Charlie was the first one in the group who was on the forgiveness train or dealing with, accepting forgiveness or being forgiving to Nova. I think the next person will probably be Ralph Angel. The last one is going to be Anvi. Absolutely. I think she's probably dealing with the largest amount of hurt and pain, and because I think hers is so many years of things that she's had to deal with that, I think it's going to be a lot harder for her to address and handle. But we'll see next week. Talk to you later.